All right, Wednesday, July 22nd. The market's about to close. It's about 3:58. Let's take a look at the top gainers. MXC, Mexico Energy Corp. Try to get in this one. So choppy today. I mean, you could keep your lines bigger, like the 9-8 line. Had to move right here over 10. That was a tough move right here to 10 to 14. And then it really faded after 1. I just couldn't get a read on it. So a lot of energy plays today moved in the top gainers list. And what was the news on this? New Mexico versus 7. New Mexico looks for a sweet spot. What is the profile on this? Mexico Energy, independent oil and gas company, natural gas. So that's what they do there. Let me see. I'm gonna look on FinBiz. See here, MXC. First reports financial results. Nothing. That was before. That was last month. Anyway, it doesn't even matter because sometimes you don't even need to know the news necessarily. Just looking at the chart, but this wasn't a good play today. Way too choppy. If you get made a play long or short, that's good, but it's not definitely a top play. TAT, 50 cents. No real interest in that. KGJI. This is King Gold Jewelry. This was not bad. If you're waiting around, you didn't really have a play today. Over 70, went all the way to 140. So that's a nice 70-cent gain. Quick pop on that. And here's the spike. There's the candle. It was at 14.5 million. So it's not a bad play there. OBLG. Nothing here. This is like a Head and Shoulders and faded. Nothing great. SNDE. This wasn't bad pre-market. I told you we're getting a lot of moves pre-market in these small caps. So over 275 wasn't bad. And then you had this 3 area. And then it came short right at the market. And it held at 350. And then bounced all the way to 450. Now this is the 5-minute. So you see the 13 very wide to the 20 EMA. So this was a fake out candle. That's why I like to use the 1320 EMA because this broke through. See, when it breaks through too fast, it's going to bounce back. It didn't bend here. It didn't curve. This is a bend. This is a crossover, 20 EMA over 13 EMA. So you see that there, and you know once it did this, and you're watching it, and this is where it's going sideways. So that's a clue. And then going down. So I mean, that's how you play it. That's why you want to get lower. You see that move. Don't be scared by that move because it didn't cross over. You have to have the 13 crossover. And on the 3-minute, let's look. 3-minute put a nice jagged move there. Really jagged little move from the 1328, but still held. You get the 10-minute. 10-minute held all the way to your 375 area. So that's why higher time frames, people are getting stopped at 1-2 minutes. The 1-2 minute time frame. So let's watch for that there. And that was a nice play. This is Sundance Energy Australia Limited. And this is a kind of weird stock here. This goes all the way back to January. It really faded. Great line today, 82 million. So energy was a play by a lot of different kind of oil plays. Nothing great there, nothing that great. USEG, this was garbage. This was back and forth. Nothing doing here between 650 and 8. SUNW, this was a late move. Right over 110, 136. And nice daily here. See this? You know, that like sort of U shape going up. So it's very bullish. GMO, too low. Home was really good. It's actually a top play if you caught this. So these candles get very wide. When you're very wide to 13 EMA, it's very strong momentum. And then it sort of came about 8 and pulled back a little bit. Let's see the pullback here. And you're not an amateur, you can see this. It's pulling back. It's not pulling back hard. and I found support in 775. Now we bounced up to 8, all the way to like 9-ish. You go to the 10-minute, and look at it. This is perfect. Touched the 13, I kissed it, and came back up. So this is a chart, like a home run chart. If you catch us, I didn't see it early move. It must have been down on the gainers list. I was looking at some of these top gainers. I haven't seen nothing going on, and this moved all the way up. So, and on the daily chart, you had the big move back in May, pull back, and this is very oversold here. Just draw your line here. This is a falling wedge pattern, and this is a classic falling wedge because this is how it's supposed to work. It comes up, came back here, sort of sideways move here, and then bounce right up. That's a falling wedge. So your wedge is falling down and a huge breakup. Look at stochastics, extremely oversold. So on a chart like this, it's not like it's going down like this. See how it can stay oversold? On this, the move was already up and then a pullback. And this is where you want to get in. Now, where do you get in? You draw your line here. So on the breakout, you know it's out. You can probably get that 6 line. And look at the volume today, 18 million. So you see a chart like that too. Now, we've seen like the airlines. I remember I pointed out videos before that there were falling wedge breakouts. They didn't really do this. This is a classic falling wedge breakout. And this is a big gap all the way up to 1746. So who knows what this will do. This tried before to get over this like 10 area and got knocked down. We'll see what happens this time. So that was a nice play today. Classic long. See, the tough part, you're not seeing, you can't see every stock every day. So this came on late. Even on late day, it was pretty good. AMPY, 195, bounce back, sort of sideways action. Roy, nothing really doing there. Too low. OEG, nothing. BGFV, this isn't bad. This is a nice chart here. They said the falling pattern back in March, and you have the ascending triangle breakout. After this broke out, came back, and this sort of went sideways here. Then you have a big breakout here. You're so far away from the 13 EMA now, so it's getting well overextended. This is Big 5 sporting goods support. And this is another. You go to your intraday, and intraday you just break it down the lines. That's all it is. Nothing really pre-market to go on. This huge candle here. Touch the 370 line. Inside little candle. That's a good sign. That's always a good sign. Seen it many times, inside candle. And then so you have 2 lines, 360, 370. What do you want to play here? So, and another thing too, you can play the in-between line. I've been doing this now too. When this candle's like so big and you're like, should I get it here, here? You might miss it if you get the pullback here. It might not pull back all the way. So 365, in between's 365. So, right here, pretty much, you play here. So when you saw that wick come all the way back, you're probably going to get in between. It's probably not going to jump here. That's what it did. It came back. And then you have 370. And then 380, a nice hold, and came all the way back up in the 5 minutes. This was a great long today. So down on the list here with some better plays. Not much on that. SPI Energy was a short. 2 overpriced lab. GMPX, this is a former runner. And we look here. He just had to move way back in March and pull back. See, every pullback, some of these like penny stocks or lower price, low floats, see the low, came back. But it was getting higher. It never just crashed down and, never came back. Look at the low. It keeps coming up higher. So this is a good sign for this stock. And this was over 350, 415, not a bad long today. OCN. Owen, what's this? Oswin? Financial Corp, I can't even read it. Ocklin. And this broke the dollar here, dollar roll. So This has been a pretty good long here. TLSK, nothing. Let's go down on the list. We got LMFA, then the volume, HMHC, Houghton Mifflin Harcourt Company. And here you go. This is right out of the break. You have one candle. See what the next one is. Two big candle here. Touch 220. This is way closer to 220 than 210, even halfway. So this is 3/4 up. 220 is a nice line to play here. And you got all the way to 270-ish. And there's the little bend here. So CALX wasn't a bad long today. Great daily chart. Hertz, this is bankrupt, garbage company. I don't even want to trade it. Not even worth it. AGQ, Ultra Silver has been on fire. Look at silver. Back in March, this was at a low of 1266, and now it's 45. So a lot of people playing long on these charts. If you just, anything that went down, it's like, oh, this is down, this maybe put a few grand. You're doing great. Came back up. Look at this. Look at the buying today. This is the best buying it's seen maybe forever. 4.5 million. Now it's way gapping. Now look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is going to have a huge drop. Watch. It's so far away from the 13 EMA at this point. Let's look at the weekly. The weekly, the next stop, if this keeps going, you know, you get near 50, but this has been on a tremendous run here. JMIA, this is another on the low, keeps getting higher, higher. This has been on a great run. 1036, intraday on this. This is a nice classic move here too. You have a big candle here, and then see what happens the next candle. You wait for a pattern too. You don't have to just jump in momentum. I mean, sometimes there will be momentum, but this came all the way back. Look at this right here, 925. And then see, even if you're in here 925 and you see this move and you're like, oh, it's going down again, you're getting worried. Let it play, because you're giving it probably to this 9 line. You're giving it 25 cents here, so don't panic on that. That's an amateur trader, because that's why you have that 9 line. And this is what happened. 13's over 20 and it pulled off long. And this was another move here. Look, 13 is over 20. It crashed hard into it. Can't break through here. It was so fast of a move. It's almost sideways, but it can't bend. Like I said here, look at this here. Going down, down. Okay, you're seeing this. Oh, it's going through. All right, it's going sideways. So, and then you start to see a bend right here. That's a longer move. See, that took almost a few hours. This can't go through in like 5 minutes. It's not going to happen. UPH, what else we got here? MLND. Draw a line here too on this. So this has the open gap right here, MLND, and then said the move here tried to break into this gap, but didn't continue. Came all the way back and found that 150, 160 line, and then nice move today. Consolidation, lower volume. This is putting, see the volume bars here, 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 but much higher. So this is good potential here. There's not much they're shorting from here at this point. This has already been beaten up, so this is a good long. It's moving nice after hours right now. Archon, BLNK, Kirk. Look at Kirk. Kirkland's Incorporated. And this has been on tear since 1 up to 450. I never swing these, anything like these. I mean, this isn't a bio, but it really held here. 1, look at the 13 May, came back hard, but it's tough to catch these. for a swing, because you just don't know if you're buying here and then next month later it went that far. So pretty crazy long. AG, First Majestic Silver Corp. This is another, look at the volume here. Look at them volume bars. This has exploded, man. Silver is just on fire. It's way hot now too, so you have to be very careful. And on this chart, you get a trade. You can trade silver, but on this you could have. Just made the move up here, line 1325. On these stocks too, that these aren't as volatile. This isn't penny stocks. You have the 1325 line. It's a nice quarter line. Look at the space here. You have a lot of room here. And then once you see this 1320 EMA coming up, and then you have right here, so your 1325 line, and then you're watching this line. So where are you going to play? You're going to play at this line, because coming down here, or you can play, like I said, on this candle here, maybe half. You're being on like 1315, because it's going to put in some wicks. They always do that. Like a move here to here, you're not going to buy here. That's way too far of a line, like a candle will come down. That can happen. Anything happens in stock trading, stock market. So, but once you see this, and you see this 13 EMA, there it is again holding. You put your line right here, and there was a nice long, another little pullback and long over 50-50. So this was a really great long. The MRA, load. Down here, what else we have here? So a lot of plays were not the top gamers today. They were much harder plays. There were headache plays, I'll call. APT, Perry, Nail. Nail was on fire today. I think home builders, was it CNBC said it was really good sales, I think. I forget what, is it national sales or something like that. But anyway, it was definitely good for the home builders. And this is the daily chart. You have this nice open gap now, right to the 38.2 fibs, 40 level. We're at 37. We're going to pull back here, and we're getting a little bit far from the 13 EMA. This could maybe do a little pullback. We'll see. It's very high in stochastics. Can't get much higher. I mean, this broke over there, the bottom of that gap, and this wick. So this has really been coming on strong. And on the this is the 5-minute. Look at this. This is a massive candle. So if you're playing momentum, you see a candle like this. It's only one candle, but if you're playing here, and like I said again, they do this all the time. If you're looking for that line, that 34.50 line, move it up. I move it up to at least 5 cents, 34.55. Look what they did. They'll play at 34. 34, they'll do a 1. I mean 34, 51, 52, 53, 54, and you'll miss your entry here. They always do that. The algos don't pull it exactly the 50 line. I don't know why. I've been noticing that. So I moved up here. There's another 35.50, and look at this. Told you 35.52. They did it again, and they're doing that. You can't get your order filled because everyone can see these lines. So you have 50 cents, the way this is moving. So definitely games with the algos. That's another thing. You'll learn and you'll see that. And this is pure momentum. All right, where are we at here? Nail. Would I lose my place here? Nail. PLG. ASM. WTRH. ATOS. KTOS. This is pure momentum. HTGM. AUDC. Ali. Ali daily chart has been just incredible. This came all the way down to 28.83 in March. It's 108.81. Who would have thought this? Ali's Bargains Outlet Holdings. And you can see back here, back in September, see that huge gap down. Gem plays are always good too on bios. They work on all kinds of stuff. It just depends if they'll come up right away or sometimes it'll take months. This did a nice bounce after 3 days, and look at that. And right now this thing's on fire, so who knows where this will go. Intraday. Here's another one here, huge wick down. You can see that, that's a good sign when it pushed back up right at that 103 line. And then look here, again, 103.7, the low. I would have missed that then, because I don't go above the 5 cent on whatever play. So 103, that was just a miss there. And on this one, 104 to low 20. So this was a tougher play. D-Ray, this has been putting in higher lows. So you move up here, you have 235, nice 1320 EMA support, not a bad trade there. Lynn, Mara, I'm giving them a list. BE, this is way down the list too. But this is a nice long on the daily. Look at this, this broke out Bloom Energy. And this is another one. What do you see here? This is a very common theme too. You have the big candle, and then look at this, lower volume. Inside candle, that's called. That's called the first move up. Then you have the next candle. It does nothing really. Doesn't go that low, and then a breakout. 1725 all the way to 1950. So in this one, the lines aren't bad. You play these 25-cent lines. So you have to move here, here. You're not going to play down here. That's way too low. This candle, I mean, if this candle would come back to here, you know, that would be just a stop out. There's nothing you can do. If it put in like a wick or anything like that, like a wick like that. So 1725, and then you're playing that line right here and probably stop. Usually we give it to this candle here, but you can see it can put in like a weird tail and come back up. So you want to give it a little more room. And 1725, and this took off, excuse me, over to 1950. And this pullback here again. What do we notice here? Here and here you see this, oh damn, I'm gonna get out. Big candle, big candle. It's trying to stop you out. Because look at the 13 over 20 MA. It's clearly over, just went sideways. It didn't bend down. See, this is a bend down. Don't worry about sideways early bends, unless maybe it's your bio stock or something. It just depends on the situation. But look at that. It's not going to go through there. It's too fast. You have to have a crossover or a severe bend with 20 over 30, 15 MA. And look at the 10-minute. That's why I go to your 3, 5, 10, 15. Look how it held in 1750. It came right back up. So that's another great long. So a lot of longs lower in the list today. Top plays are pretty much garbage. Looking at trade ideas, the list today, top gainers, you have 7.7, you know, 79 cents, 2, 3, a lot of lower price stocks again, like under 20. So a ton of action on that. PVRI, what's this here, SLV, silver. And look at this, silver just on fire. What's the weekly in this? So there was the move back in April 29, 2011. This got as high as 48.35. This is a huge drop pre-market and came back up. See, these are tougher to read, these candles. See, they take off like 2 lines, very choppy action. This was a little better once you got over 2070. KGJI+45. This is, I believe, in you know, Latin America. Excuse me. This is over 230. Pretty clean to 245. Nothing going there. Very clean trade. MIO. RLGY. This was over 785. AMD. This put another nice move here. 57.50. And then there's your line. You're closer to here or here. So this line, now 57.50, this came as low as 57.22. So again, it's putting on them tails to maybe stop you out. Now, if you do a quarter line, it's very tight. See, these lines are very small. You're going to run into like multiple lines. But if you do, like I said, just play in between 57.25, put an order 57.25 on that tail. Or if not, just play the 57.50 line. And then this took off was a good long. GL. This is Latin America too. All right, so the top list was a lot of oil plays, these penny oil plays, nothing great. So many sketchy plays today. It just wasn't a great long day. I mean, there were spotty trades. You had to catch some certain trades like HOME. BE was a good trade. JMIA was a good trade. Silver. Let's take a look at the SPY. And the SPY is in a clear breakout now. So pullback, choppy action, pullback right here. That was the last move in May. This took off again, like a double bottom that took off here. A lot of fake candles here. See this? Trying to scare longs out. And really this crossed over back in like April. The 13's been over to 20 the whole time. Even with these moves, it's trying to scare out long, but it's really tough here. I mean, it could have went either way, but it didn't. And this candle here, this is clearly 13's above 20. Now we're getting pretty far away. We might get a nice pullback, which would be good. Nasdaq still going here. You have your red and pullback. This is a little green candle here. So we're so far up on the Nasdaq. I mean, anything's possible at this point, but it's still going strong. Dow Jones. This is getting above. It's in the gap now. 27,000. Way up on stochastics. And, we should test this high soon enough, it appears. So, that's on that. The airlines. There's your trend line. It's holding us back to the trend line. See, this is a falling wedge breakout as a fake right now. Didn't cleanly go up. It's pulling back again, so that's not good. JetBlue. Pull back. We'll see what happens with that. ALK. Same thing, chopping around. CNOs win. They said the falling wedge breakout here. Now it's really coming down hard here. Win. LBS. Coming back down to REITs, MFA. REITs are looking a little bit better. So this has been slowly climbing. We'll see here. IVR. Just trying to cross up here. So they're looking better. These REITs haul. This is a nice candle on haul today. Got a lot of volume in these. All right, so that's looking better. Carnival, same thing, battle on this trend line. RCL, coming down. CCL, trend line. NCLH, same thing. So these are not doing much. The oil plays, APA, came all the way up here. Sort of stalled today. Oxy stalled right at that trend line too. So got consistent action after you had this nice candle. So you're giving like false signals. Divergence is up, so that's bullish here. So that's a good sign. All right, UDAL, ETFs. There it is. We're trying to get into close this gap. Actually, be like 74. It's looking very bullish, man. We're very high up stochastics. So there was the run again. This low was 58.01. You got in there, you're $13 plus. So you had a run back here. This didn't fully go down. Nice run, quick run, and this was the run that took it off. And this was tough because you had here, wasn't like a clean run here. You had moved and a big candle here. Thought you were going to go through as a fake out. Then we took off. So very tough to get long or swing there. SPXL. This is trying to approach the 61.8 fib soon, which will be about 54. And you have a nice 13/20 here, very smooth here. So it's all been bought. See, bounce, bought. Might come back again, and then it'll be another buy for longs at this point. GNA, small caps have not been as good. So this is trying to get over this 30 line and then retrace that 38.2, which would be 35 on small caps. We're very high up too here. So there's TMA, FAS, financials. This didn't move a lot from this low. 28.76. Oh yeah, actually it's an $8 move. But it bounced. That's another. These were so tough to read. So at this point, just as a move here, do I want to buy here? Not really. Do I want to buy here? No, I don't want to buy here. So, I mean, it could keep going. We could keep this move here. So, I mean, we'll see what happens here. We're getting very overbought again. But on the trend line, see the low keeps getting higher. If this were pull back, maybe you get to, I'm trying to see here, this might pull back, maybe 30. We'll see though. FAS, Soxel. It's approaching at 61.8 fibs. This has been a nice long, nothing new there. LABU, pullback. JNUG, Nougat, gold, silver, been on fire. Look at this here. Just had to move here, touch the 13 bounce. Look at this. So your 13/20, very nice here. Do we get a pullback there? We could pull back even to 88. Who knows? So this is a continued long. And so is JNUG. Look at JNUG. They really have been on fire. So it's gold. UCO was not a bad long today. This chopped around a lot though. UCO, ERX. Let's put in a little hammer here. Touch that 13 EMA. This was tougher to trade. Didn't really give you much range there. Defend. Here's defense. So defend, you had your first move here, quick move, and pull back, and there's like sideways. Tough to play back and forth there. And then you had a real bottom here, very oversold. You had here and here, that's a double bottom, 1, 2. So once you saw it fading here, people might have got in. You're like, yeah, we're getting in. It's getting oversold, and it bounced, and it came all the way back. So this is 1, 2, double bottom. And it took off to your 23.6 fib, which was the high of 21.48. Ever since then, yeah, it's been going down, down. If you draw your line here, draw a line right there. See, we broke over that trend line now, right here, and here was a little fake out. Now, missed the 20, still over the 13 EMA. So this is a battle here. We need this 13 to cross over. It looks like it's trying to. Today was a very strong day. You had the 80 line right here. So this is an uptrend. Will this keep going? You know, do one of these moves? And it's tough to say. This is really a strong candle. If you draw a trend line here, a little trend line. Draw a line right here. So bounce, bounce. This is looking better long. I mean, longer term, this is a great long. This thing was 75, went down to like 5. It's very slow action as far as that was a nice move up. Trend line, 1, 2, looks like 3. It should be the next move up. It just comes back to this trend line again. It's just, and it could happen because the trend line is still getting higher, so, but it's very slow action. We need more of a rip here like that. And on the weekly, to the weekly, this 13 MA, they really got to start turning sideways. This is trying to bend down now. You have a crossover right here. This is divergence. You have 13, not 13, excuse me, like the white over edge trying to cross over. That's very bullish too. So that's looking good. The monthly, yeah, from that wick, it's very flat now. See, this is all bearish. Now the white crossed over. We're sideways. We're basically flat. So I don't think this is getting lower anytime soon. This is the flat point, and then the turn will be up, probably the next move. So that's on defend. Then, and here's Din coming out of the falling wedge, move up, sideways. Nice divergence here. This could break up. We could get back to 48 here. This is looking, these moves here on Din was, looks like a fake out at this point. So that's on Din. So the ETFs look better longer, all these ETFs. Even though they pull back to these trend lines, they've been, it's very tough to swing because you don't know, is it going to go through? Is this the like real pullback? Doesn't seem we're getting that pullback. So let's go to a deeper move here on the SPY. This is like all my moving averages. You can see here, we crossed over. This is Elliott wave. Elliott wave is a slower oscillator. These are like longer term trends. We're green. We're totally green. And this happened way back all these times. We've only been red a few times. This is pretty deep. So we're extremely bullish. Look at MACD. MACD at a crossover. This is up near 80. It's extremely high again. This could stay high for months. This did almost November to like February, March before it crashed. RSI still not oversold. This is the weekly. So at this point, we have the 5, the 9, 13, 20. Let's cross over to 50, and you get your 100, 150, 200. So the weekly is fully engulfed the way it should be. If we get any severe pullback, it might be all the way to the 50. It should be about 300. On the monthly, we're having a crossover right now. We have a green MACD. Elite wave still green. Crossover stochastics. And we have RSI crossing over. So go back to the weekly here. We'll probably, at this point, I don't see how we don't get back to this. Maybe we double top and then fade back down. Some weird move. Who knows? But all these people say we're crashing and we're going back down. It doesn't look like it's happening. This is not, a total V. It's like in between an L and a V. But it's been a great long here. Look at that. But we are high up again. So once you're high, you can stay high for a while, but what comes high, then you go low. So who knows when another crash or pullback. I don't know we're going to have a move like this, but if we do fall back, we'll probably be in between, I would say maybe the 280 level from this to this, 50% retracement. We'll see what happens there. So that's on the SPY. The Nasdaq's so far up here. I'll put my retracement now. Put my retracement here now because this is like the new high. So This is so far above the 50 and the 200. I mean, talking way above. If something were happening in Nasdaq, I don't know what. Like, I don't know what is going to drop it at this point. Of course, we get a vaccine, the coronavirus. You don't need people working at home as much, but that seems to be like working as well too, because to pay all these corporations like office space, they're like cutting, they're saving so much money on that. That's helping too. So it's been an incredible run there. Dow Jones. Yeah, you have your crossovers here. This is very high. This is a little bit different because this is way up here. What was the high? The previous high we had way back in February. It's almost like 30,000. So just 3 more grand to go. We'll see if we get over this and we just start taking off. Or if we hit this, then we pull back again. Yes, it's 1, 2, it might pull back after the third touch, we might break up. Here's the weekly. Just crossed over green on Elliott Wave. MACD completely bullish, so let's see the moving averages. Here's your 200, there's your 150, 20. So a lot of them are trying to cross over. They're very tight together. You know, have a lot of moves here. So this looks like a U, and then right over, almost like a cup, but not a handle. It could do a cup and handle like this, pull back, and there's your handle that can go up. So, but any moves to the downside now are all fakes at this point. There has to be something severe. I mean, you could get like a deep correction or that if something happens, but at this point, there's nothing showing any major pullbacks. We have small pullbacks. As long as it's low, keeps getting higher each time. You know, here we sort of went sideways, and here, like if this moves down here and it goes all the way testing this, it might test that and then come back up. You want it to probably get to like the next low would be like here, maybe 26.2. So, I mean, so far everything is working well as far as loans in the stock market. So, nothing's changed at this point. There's a quarterly, here's a yearly in the Dow Jones. Look at that. That is a hammer candle. Went all the way down, boom, hammered it back up. And this goes all the way back to 1920s, 30s. Look at this. Started to rise, 1990, 85, too. That you draw a trend line here, it really exploded up. 2000. Then you had 3 candles in 2005. Then you had a major candle on the yearly and pull back. Then another one here, another one here. On the yearly, we're getting wider though. Every move is like wider and wider. On the quarterly, you can see this is like a broadening wedge. And in the wedge here, see this with small candle, bigger, extremely bigger. Now we're here. Looks like we want to cross back over. Test that high again. And you go to, on this, on the quarterly. See on the quarterly here, you know, we had to move here. We actually get a monthly. See, these were true drops. So this was like 99, 2000. This went all the way to 2003. This was a downtrend. Every bounce was going down now. So the high was getting lower each time. And then that was in 2008 too. So here you had the 13 over the 20, but see how this crossed? This is on the monthly. When you have a monthly bend, that's, you know, you're in deep trouble. And that's what happened. This went all the way down. Then you had the 20 over the 13A. Extremely bearish there. And you can see where the buys were. This was a little bit tougher because it was jagging down, jagged edge. And it just broke up finally in 03. This one, you maybe thought, we're getting so oversold, but where was this? Right here on this. That was way back in 2008. That was early though, because it still kept going down. And then right here was the true buy on March 31st, 2009. It was the first green candle These were green, but that was way too high at that point. See how you're far away from your 1320 MA? This is the reverse. So when you're high above, it'll drop. When you're low is when you buy. And this is on the monthly. And then this came back and finally started to move to 2010, 2011, we had another drop. But after this, at 2010-11 was the buy because your 13's over your 20. Look at that. Then we had another shakeout. This is probably 2016, 2017, sort of went sideways, or 2015. Then we took off again. And then you had that January move. Came back up. And see, these are all fake outs. So if you look at 13 over to 20, this went right through. That was, remember, in December, was it 2018? Almost January 2019, at the end of the year there. This put in a huge candle. It went through so fast on monthly, but it wasn't a sell. Because look at your 13 and 20. That wasn't a bend. Now, was that like that? No, it wasn't a bend. It was, these are like flash crashes, or not a crash, I'm talking about a day. Like this was a flash move in a month where it went through, but it was never like 2008, like, oh, this is going to be a long time. Like that was a year, over a year, 2 years. This was just a quick move. So was this. This was too, and actually this was. This happened so fast in March. This is like another flash move right here. Look at this. 1, 2, hammering out the bottom. You got a bend here, very strong bend. It went sideways, but didn't sort of go down here. If we had another red candle start to go down here, that would have been different. So look how tight that was, though. It's tight. It kept bouncing. We're bouncing. I'm trying to get above. This had a huge wick, bounce back down, and this. Actually, what's the candle here? This is the breakout candle on the monthly. This is above now, so you have support. This is the Dow Jones, like 25, 690. Look at this. So this can come back up. At this point, I say we test at least at 28. We'll see what happens there. So, and that goes on the candle, same as day trading. When you see a move go so fast through, it's a fake out because it happened too fast. It's trying to shake people out, and that's what they do. Scare people out. So, all right, so that's it for today. End of the week coming up. Again, small caps have been on fire, mainly small caps. Today, a lot of weird oil plays, like these little oil companies, not great longs. You had HOME was a nice long, DE was a nice long, silver, some good long plays, and SNDE wasn't bad. And KGJI wasn't bad. So not the greatest day, but there's plays. There's plays every day. It's a matter of if you catch them. But that was it. All right, so the stock market is still going strong at this point. Go back to your SPY. Now let's look at DJT, transports. I usually telltale too. Move up here, transports down. This is like, you try to get up here, maybe a double top, but I don't think that's nothing really now. Still an uptrend. So. All right, that's it. We'll be back tomorrow. Please subscribe to the channel. And we are out for now. Peace out.